Took me like 20 minutes to decide. Good heavens, Mandy. Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to the last video in my full month of your video ideas. I am especially excited about today's video because there's going to be some extra participation from many of you. Last week I let you guys know here on my community tab that I would be posting some footage on my Instagram stories of my makeup collection and letting you guys pick some things out from each of my makeup categories. And today I'm going to use those suggestions to create a full face of makeup, a full makeup look. I am so excited about this one. Thank you all who participated. I know not everyone is on Instagram and I apologize about that. I really hope in the future to do this again and find a way to do it incorporating those of you that are just on YouTube, because I totally understand. I'm not on Instagram as much as I probably should be either. But regardless, I hope that you guys are excited about this one. Before we jump into the video, I want to send a special welcome to those of you that are newer to my channel. So happy to have you here. I hope that if you are not yet subscribed, that you will consider doing that before you leave. And with that said, let's jump into the makeup look. Alright guys, so we're going to get started with the complexion. I realized that I didn't put a primer in here, but honestly, 70% of the time I don't use a primer, so we're just going to jump right into foundation. So initially I thought I would tally up all of the suggestions and see which ones got the most votes, but there were a lot more votes and it was a lot more varied than I thought it would be. So I decided instead we'll just kind of scroll through my suggestions, I will land on something and we will go with that one. I saw Ellie Glines do something like this in one of her subscriber interaction videos. I love those videos. That's really where this video idea came from in the first place, which I probably should have mentioned at the beginning. But we're going to start off with foundation. So I'm just going to kind of scroll up and down, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. The Wet n Wild Dewy foundation, this suggestion came from KawaiiG58. So we're going to go in with this shade. This is the shade Soft Beige. I did just put a little bit of self-tanner on today. I'm trying out a new self-tanner, not really loving it. I'm very picky with my self-tanners because I don't like to spend a lot of money on self-tanner. But I also don't like really messy self-tanners, and it's hard to find something that's not messy. But heaven knows I wish I was on vacation and getting naturally tan, but that's not happening anytime soon, so self-tanner it is. Alright, so I'm just putting this directly onto my sponge, and we're just going to kind of tap it on. Hopefully this shade matches okay. So I'm sure many of you guys have tried out this foundation by now, at least those of you that were interested in it and could get your hands on it, so I'd love to know what you thought of it. Let me know what you thought of the scent. It is quite fragranced. In fact, I would say it's much more fragranced than the original Wet n Wild foundation, which I'm not wild about, but I'm also not super sensitive to scent, so it doesn't bother me too much. And I think it smells nice. I just don't particularly like my foundations to be heavily scented, but if they perform well, I can deal with it. Okay, that's a good shade match for me right now, actually. Alright, so there's foundation. This is such a pretty foundation. It really is. Alright, so we're going to jump over to concealer. Let's see what we have in here. Catch a Tigger by the toe. Alright, this one comes from A.M. Williams 811. Milani Conceal and Perfect. Alright guys, so I only have one shade of the Milani Conceal and Perfect, and this one is even a tiny bit light for me in the wintertime. So I'm going to try and pick another one to go along with this because I know that this one probably won't quite match me. CoverGirl. Oh, thank heavens. So I'm going to try and combine those two. I actually haven't done this combination yet, and I'm sorry if this is kind of cheating, but honestly, there is not a concealer out there that I would like if it's completely the wrong shade. I think shade trumps formula, in my opinion. Sometimes. Maybe not always, but sometimes. So on the back of my hand, I have basically two parts the Milani concealer. This is in the shade 115, and one part the CoverGirl concealer in the shade M100 Golden Natural. And I think these two together will probably make the perfect shade for me. Alright, and we're just going to tap these on. I'm going to start off under my eyes. I really do like both of these concealers. I really like the Milani one. I always intended to go back and buy another shade because I felt like it was just a little bit too light for me to use on its own. And to really get a solid feel on just the formula of the Milani one, I need to use it by itself, but the shade's not quite right. So I really need to go pick up a darker shade so that I can try it out on its own, because when I did try it out on its own, because it was light, I just felt like it didn't look very good under my eyes, but not because of the formula. So I'm really just tapping this under my eyes. I've kind of been back into blending my concealer with my fingers. I feel like I get better coverage and I feel like it melts into my skin a little bit better. And then sometimes I'll just go over it with my sponge, which I'll probably do here in a sec. I do have a lot of little spots here on my chin. Okay, that looks beautiful. That is a beautiful concealer and combination. Again, it was mostly the Milani concealer, but even those two together make a great combination. They're really nice, hydrating, good coverage. Very happy with that. Before we move on, I want to take just a tiny bit more of just the Milani concealer, and we're going to use this as my eye primer. So I'm just going to tap this on my sponge and then tap a little bit of this on my eyelids. Alright, so I think I want to do the rest of the complexion products before we move into the eyes and the lips. So let's head over to bronzer. Alright, so here's our bronzer category. Let's see what the people had to say. If he hollers, make him pay. Alright, Amelia, how funny. We have Milani again. So we're going for Milani Silky Matte Bronzer. Thank you for this suggestion. I do love this bronzer. One of my favorites from the drugstore. And to go along with this bronzer, I'm going to be testing out a new brush that I just got in from Rephr. I am so thankful that they sent me this brush. This is a very fancy bronzer brush. And if you guys have been watching my channel for a while, you'll know that I've been on the hunt for the bronzer brush of my dreams. And this seems to look like it. I mean, it's the paddle shape. It's very big and fluffy. And it feels like a baby bunny. So we are going to give it a try today. Thank you again, Rephr, for sending this to me, and I will let you guys know what I think of this as I use it. This is my first time using it, actually. Oh heavens, it is so soft. I do love this bronzer. If you are someone that worries about going overboard with bronzer, or if you have very fair skin, I think you'll love this bronzer formula. It is so nice. And one of the few bronzers that I almost never can apply too much. It always just seems to look just right. Anybody else go crazy applying bronzer and blush with hoops in? They're so obnoxious. Alright, looking good. Let's move into blush. So let's see what we have for blushes. $50 every day. Oh yes. Anna Elisa 27 suggested the Persona, Carmel, or Georgia blush. I am such a fan of these blushes, you guys. I absolutely love them. And I don't know which one I'm going to pick. So actually, I think I'm going to hold off on blush. We're still going to keep these as my selection, but I'm not quite sure which one I want to use depending on what look we end up doing. So let's put these on at the end. I will set those aside and let's move into highlighter. But thank you, Anna. Great suggestion. All right, so for highlighters, let's see what we have here. My mother said that you are it. One of the Super Shock highlighters from ColourPop. This suggestion came from Audra Wears Makeup. Thank you, Audra. So I have two of the Super Shocks. I have the color Smoke and Whistles and Flexitarian. I have always been curious to pick up Lunch Money. I know a lot of people really love that highlighter. Let me know if you guys have that one, if you prefer it to these two. I do love both of these. Let me swatch them both for you. So first off, here is the color Smoke and Whistles. It's a little bit more pink. It's not quite as, I hate to say glittery, but Flexitarian does have the tiniest bit of micro glitter in it, but it's just a little bit more intense. So there's Flexitarian right there. So hopefully side by side you can kind of see that this one is a little bit more icy, but it's a nice warm icy. I actually do love this one. Let's go ahead and use them both. Why don't we go in with Smoke and Whistles with a brush, and then we'll add just a touch of Flexitarian just to the very topmost part of my cheek. So I'm going to take this brush right here. This is just a small buffer brush from BH Cosmetics that I got in a set. And we're just going to kind of tap this on. I always forget that these actually go on best if you tap them on. And if you really want them to be intense, I suggest using your finger. And we'll use this one for the center of my nose highlight because it's not quite as intense, which I usually prefer in this area. Alright, and now we're going to take just the tiniest bit of Flexitarian on my finger, and I just really lightly want to tap that right in this area right here. Then with a clean finger, I just press it out to kind of press it into the skin. Hopefully you can see that. I'm already looking pretty reflective on this side. I really don't probably need this, but that's okay. It is 7 o'clock in the evening right now. I have no plans to go anywhere tonight. I'll probably just be watching TV with my kids, so now's the time to look like a disco ball. So before we get into eyeshadow, we're going to do our eyebrows. So let me find the eyebrow category. Here we go. Alright, here we have the brow category. Let's take a look with a dirty, dirty dish rag on your toe. So for brow products, I had a couple things from e.l.f. in that little video clip. I had this little brow duo that's just kind of a gel and a powder duo. I rarely use this. I just don't think it's fast enough for me, and I don't have the best brush to go with it. But I have my classic brow pencil in the color taupe, and then I have the clear brow gel. I love this stuff. Honestly, I've been using the Gimme Brow from Benefit lately, and I'm not sure that I like it that much more than I just like my classic e.l.f. gel, which I'm kind of upset about because I spent a lot of money on that. I mean, it was on sale, so I got it for like $13, but still, $13 should really easily beat my $2 clear brow gel, you know? We're still in the trial phase. I'm still testing it out, so I don't want to make that as like my definitive thought on that product yet, but so far I was hoping I'd love it a little bit more than I do, and I'm not even quite sure what it is about it that I don't love. I really feel like brows are one of those things that it's not even necessarily just about the brow products that you use, but it's about practice and technique and getting good at doing your brows the way that you want them to be done, and I just don't feel like I'm there yet. I can't totally fault the products that I'm using. I think it's more just me not quite having the patience to really finesse my brows. And I feel like I get stuck on this topic of brows all the time. That I want to have amazing brows, but I'm not quite skilled enough or patient enough to get there. That actually looks really good. I love that pencil. It is just so fast and so cheap. And then I'm going to go in with a little bit of the clear brow gel from e.l.f. So I do find this has a little too much product on it when I get it out of the tube, so I have to kind of wipe some of it off. Otherwise it just gets a little bit gloopy. I do think the e.l.f. one is a little bit stiffer than the Benefit one though. So if you don't like that slightly more crunchy brow, you probably wouldn't like that one. Alright, brows are on. Let's move on to one of my favorite categories, you guys know, eyeshadow palettes. Alright, we've got quite the list of suggestions here. I don't know why I'm nervous about this one. Catch a Tigger by the toe. Alright, the Identity palette from Persona. This one came from Lenny Anna 2006. Thank you, Lenny Anna. It has been a while since I have used the Persona Original Identity palette, and it is one of my favorites. So I'm going to grab it, and I'll be right back. Alright, here it is, the original Persona palette. Oh, I love this palette so much. So before I do my eye look, I do want to go and pick out my lipstick, because if I end up getting a bold lip color, I want to make sure that my eye look coordinates with it. So we're going to hold on this for just one sec, and let's go ahead and pick out my lipstick first. So here's my little clip of all my lipsticks. Let's have a look. Let's do a different rhyme. Bubblegum, bubblegum in a dish. Alright, the Lady Megan said dose of colors. So here are the colors that I have from Dose. I have the color Truffle, the color Lazy Daisy, I have Bittersweet, and I have Kiss of Fire. So I feel like no matter which one I choose, someone's gonna wish I did nude and someone's gonna wish I did bold. Ooh, I do have a black shirt on today. We could totally do a bold lip. Let's swatch these really quick. Alright, so let's swatch this one first. This is kind of a bright pinky red. This is Kiss of Fire. And then Bittersweet, I think is a little bit more of like a true orangey red. Oh, I love this color. Actually reminds me a little bit of Phoenix by Persona, which I absolutely love Phoenix. Then we have Lazy Daisy. This is a really pretty cooler tone nude. Right there, it has a little bit of a mauve shift to, good heavens. And then the color Truffle. This one is a little bit more of like a warm peachy mauve. Alright, so here they are. Kiss of Fire, Bittersweet, Lazy Daisy, Truffle. So let's have a look at the palette and just see what we can come up with. Oh, okay, let's see. Should we do a glossy red lip? Because I will be picking out a gloss. Hopefully it will go with the red lip. We could do something bold and red and then something just kind of shimmery and subtly smoky on the eyes. Let's do that. So I think I'm going to go with, ooh, which one? I know these probably on camera look pretty similar. This one is quite a bit more pink though. Typically I like to go for an orangey red. I'm wondering if I should try the pinky red just for a change. Ooh, this is tough. I'm so indecisive. It's ridiculous. Alright, so I think I do want to go with the more orangey red. Again, this is the color Bittersweet. And then we're going to do something kind of very golden on the eyes. Like I really want to go gold on the eyes with the orangey red. I think that'll be really pretty. Let's do that. Hopefully you guys are okay with that. So let's go into the Persona palette. So I'm going to start off by going into the color Humble, which is kind of the pink light flesh tone color right here. And I'm just going to apply that all over my lid now that I've tapped out those creases from my concealer. Okay, and we're going to dip into the color right underneath it, the color Charming. And I actually want to mix that with a little bit of Humble just to make it a little bit lighter. And we're going to dust that just right above my crease. And I want this to almost go up to my eyebrow. I'm just leaving the tiniest bit of a space underneath my eyebrow right there. Just swirl it here at my outer corner just to round out the shape. Seriously guys, these shadows are crazy good. Like they blend so easily. Now we're going to go in with a bit of a smaller brush. We're going to dip back into that same color Charming. And just with this color alone, I'm taking this on my Rephr number 1 brush. And we're going to run this just right into the socket to just add a little bit of depth right through that socket line. I hope you can't hear the TV upstairs. I can hear that they're watching Survivor. We've been watching old seasons of Survivor. Any of you guys Survivor fans out there? So I was like a diehard, no, maybe not diehard, but I was a pretty intense Survivor fan for a while, and then I kind of just stopped watching the show. I haven't watched it for a while, so we actually went back with our kids and have been watching some of the older seasons. We're on Heroes versus Villains right now, and it's pretty good. So I do want to take that same color and just with a tiny bit more, we're going to run this on the lower lash line. I just want this very like soft and diffused. Alright, we're looking just about perfect, just where I want it to be, nice and diffused. Alright, so now we're going to dip into this gold. Oh, this is such a pretty gold. It's color Gold Digger. Incredible. So I'm just going to tap this all over the inner 2/3 of the way across the lid. And then I will blend out the corner with a little bit more shadow and add just a little bit of depth maybe to this outer corner. So I do want to take just a little bit of this color right here. This is the color Goddess. It's kind of the deeper bronze shimmer right there. And we're going to tap that on this outer half of the lid on top of where that shimmer kind of ended. And then we'll go in with a matte to kind of blend through this corner. Let's see, let's go in with a little bit of the color Charming. I'm going to mix the tiniest bit of this color right here, which is a very, very, very dark, almost black brown. I'm going to tap that off, and I'm just going to start swirling that right here on this outer corner and upper lash line, lightly pulling it in. Just running a little bit of that under this very outermost corner of the lower lash line. Okay, that is such a pretty bronze eye. Love it. Alright, I do want just a tiny bit of brightness on my inner corner. I'm going to take this color right here, which is the color Sassy, and I'm just taking the tiniest bit on this little Rephr number 3 brush, and I'm just going to place that right on my inner tear duct. This is one of those colors that I kind of have to use a brush because it is so intensely reflective. If I use my finger and it's too widespread, it just looks a little bit too much. But as just a little pop of shimmer right on that tear duct, it is absolutely gorgeous. I just want to take that same brush. We're going to dip into that just very dark brown, and I'm just going to run the tiny bit of this right against those upper lashes. Alright, that is perfect. I think that is just right. So I'm going to now pick out a mascara. So let's go over to the mascaras and see what we have. Alright, here are mascara suggestions. Let's see what we've got. How many pieces do you wish? Alright, from K1813 we have the Milk Mascara. I do have a mini of the Milk Mascara. Let me grab it. I have not tried out this mascara yet. One of you suggested trying one side with my eyelashes curled and one side without my eyelashes curled. Let's go ahead and try that just for kicks. I'm going to curl this side of my lashes, then I'll apply the mascara, and I will be right back with you guys. Alright guys, so here are the finished eyes with mascara. I have to say that mascara is pretty amazing. I wasn't sure I loved it at first because it definitely takes some time. You've got to build up like 2 or maybe even 3 coats of this, but it is not clumpy at all, especially on the first and second coat. If you absolutely hate clumps in your mascara and you want things to be perfectly separated and defined, I think that you would like this one. This is really a nice mascara. Again, it took me a minute, which normally I'm not that patient with my mascaras, but the finished result is pretty nice. Let me zoom you guys in just a little bit. All right, so here is the curled side, here's the non-curled side, and again, I did about 2.5 coats, and you have to dip back in for that second coat because it doesn't have a ton of product on the wand. I don't know if that's the same with the full-size mascara, but if you dip back in for that second coat, man, it really takes you to the next level. All right, guys, so the eyes are finished. Let's move into the lips, and then we'll finish off with the blush. Now I'm going to add the Dose lipstick, and then I'll be right back with you guys. All right, guys, here are the finished lips. Lip line's not perfect, please don't judge me, but I absolutely love this color. I am such a sucker for a good orangey red, and this is such a beautiful one. I did, however, have a lip gloss category, so let's go through and see what we have for lip gloss. All right, so here is my lip gloss category, and I'm out of rhymes. Let's just pick one. All right, landed on the Fenty gloss. This suggestion came from Mrs. KWRN. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but thank you for the suggestion. I do love my Fenty glosses. We're gonna go in with this one right here. This is the color Sweet Mouth. Now I know this looks pink, but it is actually quite sheer. Let me just swatch it for you guys right underneath here. You can see there's not a whole lot of color to this one, which is one of the reasons I love this specific color so much, because it's really just kind of like a sheer topper. So it can go on top of any lipstick or lip liner, but I don't want this to touch my red lipstick, so I'm just going to put a little bit on the back of my hand. And I just want to concentrate this mostly in the center. So here we have the finished lips. Before we add our blush though, I just want to go through and make sure that I got all of the categories. Yeah, we are good. So let's just add a little bit of blush and then we will be done. Because it is an orangey red, I think I'm going to go in with the color Georgia. I'm just going to take a little bit of this on my Real Techniques blush brush, and we're just going to add a little bit. Let's start kind of at the outer apples and we'll kind of pull it in as we build. These blushes are quite pigmented, just be warned, but they are beautiful. They nailed the colors of these blushes. Alright, you guys, and this completes the makeup look. I didn't include a setting spray. I don't always use a setting spray usually because I just forget or I'm lazy. But this is the completed makeup look. I love how this one turned out. I love the combination of the warm kind of orangey red with the warm golden eye. I think it's a perfect combination. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I had so much fun doing this. Honestly, it kind of felt like Christmas, going through and picking things out and being surprised. Of course, let me know if you guys enjoyed this. Give the video a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below if you'd like to see me do this again. But that is it for today, and that is it for my full month of your video ideas and suggestions. Thank you guys so much for participating, for so many great ideas. I know I was not able to get to all of the ideas, but I have written them down. I am saving them. I can't wait to continue doing these, maybe make it a series here. I hope that all of you are doing well. Sending love to you and your families. I know that this is a difficult time. I hope that you guys are hanging in there. One more reminder before you leave, please be sure to hit that subscribe button. And that is it for today. I hope that you guys have a good one. I will see all of you in my next video. Bye. Oh, it didn't work. Let's do another one. Bubblegum, bubblegum in a dish. Come on! Still have lip gloss on the back of my hand. I hate to waste it. It's like 5 cents right there. But with that, this completes today's makeup look, picked out by yours truly. No, wait. Yours truly means me.